currently engaged in crafting a story within Chat GPT, where my primary task is to collaboratively write a book with the assistance of this AI. The story I'm envisioning takes the form of an adventurous tale inspired by the iconic style of Dungeons & Dragons, rather than meticulously planning it out chapter by chapter. I've decided to approach it in a more dynamic manner, writing it page by page to maintain a sense of spontaneity and flexibility. Additionally, I'm turning this narrative into a self-made solo RPG experience, allowing players to immerse themselves in the story and embark on thrilling adventures at their own pace. Solo adventures is fun. I do not present guidebooks and other resources to aid players along their journey. To keep things simple and accessible, I've chosen to utilize only a 6-sided die, ensuring that the gameplay mechanics remain straightforward and easy to understand. This exciting adventure will unfold across 5 or 6 thrilling episodes, each packed with twists and turns. I invite you to join me on this journey and immerse yourself in the excitement and wonder of the story. Let the adventure begin. Okay, let's get started. I am currently immersed in the creation of a story, tasked with the exciting endeavor of crafting a book with the assistance of this AI. The story I'm crafting is set to be an adventurous tale inspired by the style of Dungeons & Dragons, infused with the spirit of exploration and questing. Additionally, I aim to transform it into a unique self-made solo RPG experience where players can embark on thrilling adventures within the narrative world I'm constructing. I am known as Sir James Reynolds. I embody a unique blend of intellect and valor, a knight whose past is steeped in the pursuit of knowledge and enlightenment. Once a devoted scholar, your insatiable thirst for understanding led you down unexpected paths, eventually propelling you into the adventurous life of a knight. Here's a picture of him.
You find yourself standing at the gates of the bustling city of Evermore. The sun is shining overhead, and the streets are filled with merchants, adventurers, and townsfolk going about their daily business.
I would explore the city, but I soon got lost. Here's a picture of the city of Evermore.
As you wander through the winding streets of Evermore, trying to take in the sights and sounds, you realize that the city is much larger and more labyrinthine than you initially thought. The buildings seem to loom over you, and the crowds of people make it difficult to find your bearings.
Feeling a bit directionless, you find yourself instinctively turning to Chat GPT for guidance. With a hint of whimsy, you decide to immerse yourself in a fictional adventure. Enter Sleeping Hand Inn. Here's a picture.
So, with a stroke of luck, amidst the confusion of the city streets, you stumble upon the Sleeping Hand Inn. The wooden sign creaks softly in the breeze above the entrance, and the smell of hearty stew wafts out from within. Upon entering, you're greeted by a warm atmosphere, the crackling of a fire in the hearth and the friendly chatter of patrons. The innkeeper, a stout woman with a kind smile, nods at you as you enter.
Here's a picture of the innkeeper of the Sleeping Hand Inn, and retrieving a few coins from your pouch, you deftly slip them across the counter to the innkeeper, a silent offering that speaks volumes of your appreciation for their services.
You approach the innkeeper and slide a coin across the counter towards her. She gives you a grateful nod before pocketing the coin.
Good day to you, sir. What can I do for you?
She says with a warm smile. You inquire about any rumors or information regarding the enchanted forest nearby. The innkeeper's eyes light up with intrigue.
Aya, the enchanted forest, a mysterious place indeed, full of wonders and dangers alike. Many adventurers have sought treasures within its depths, but few have returned.
She leans in closer, lowering her voice conspiratorially.
I've heard tales of a hidden glade deep within the forest, said to hold a treasure beyond imagining, but be warned, brave knight, the forest is not to be trifled with. Many who venture never return.
For sleeping in the inn, she requested payment.
You reach into your purse and withdraw the appropriate amount of currency, carefully counting out the coins before handing them over to the innkeeper.
The innkeeper's request for payment seems reasonable considering the valuable information she's provided. You hand over the required coins, a total of 35 in all, and she gives you a grateful nod.
Thank you kindly, sir.
She says, stowing away the coins.
Your room will be prepared shortly. In the meantime, feel free to relax in the common area or enjoy a meal from our kitchen.
With that, she bustles off to attend to other duties, leaving you to decide how to spend your time until your room is ready.
She comes over with an old dwarf man. She said, here's the person you want to partner with. Here's a picture of him.
The innkeeper returns with an elderly dwarf, his beard long and braided, his eyes sparkling with wisdom and mischief. She introduces him to you as your potential partner.
Sir James Reynolds, meet Grimbolt Stonehammer, a seasoned adventurer and expert in navigating the enchanted forest. He's agreed to accompany you on your quest in exchange for a share of any treasure you find.
She says, gesturing to you. Grimbolt gives you a nod of greeting, his voice gruff but friendly.
A pleasure to make your acquaintance, lad. I've been exploring these woods, and there's still much I haven't seen. Together, we'll make quite the team.
He adjusts the strap of his pack and looks at you expectantly, awaiting your decision. With a nod of agreement, you extend your hand in a gesture of partnership, sealing the deal with a firm handshake. The promise of sharing the treasure equally serves as a bond of trust between you and your newfound companion, solidifying your alliance as you embark on your quest together. Grimbolt nods in agreement, his eyes twinkling with approval.
A fair deal, lad. You've got yourself a partner.
With your newfound companion by your side, you feel more confident about venturing into the enchanted forest. The innkeeper returns and leads you both to your room, where you can rest and prepare for the journey ahead. As evening falls and the sounds of the inn begin to quiet, you and Grimbolt sit together at a table in the common area, poring over maps and discussing your strategy for the journey. Suddenly, the door bursts open, and a disheveled figure rushes in, panting heavily. It's a young elf, his clothes torn and his face pale with fear.
Here's a picture of him.
Help! Monsters! In the forest! They're attacking!
He gasps, collapsing onto the floor.
The village!
How many attacked overall?
The young elf struggles to catch his breath, before responding.
I don't know. It was chaos. I saw at least a dozen, maybe more, horrible creatures with glowing eyes attacking from forest.
He shudders, clearly traumatized by what he's witnessed. Grimbolt exchanges a worried glance with you, his expression grim.
We must act swiftly.
He says, his voice urgent.
The safety of the village may depend on it.
You extend an invitation to 4 additional adventurers who have expressed interest in joining your party, swelling your ranks to a formidable 6. With a sense of camaraderie and shared purpose, you gather your companions and prepare to venture out into the bustling streets once more.
You quickly relay the urgent news to the innkeeper, who listens with a mix of concern and determination. Upon hearing your plea for aid, she nods solemnly and springs into action, rallying the other patrons of the inn to join your cause. In a matter of moments, 4 additional adventurers step forward, eager to lend their strength to the defense of the village. Among them are a nimble halfling rogue, a stoic human cleric, a fiery half-orc sorcerer, and a wise elven ranger.
Escape of pain. As Grimbolt suddenly twists his foot, a grimace of pain contorting his features, the momentum of your group is momentarily halted. Despite the setback, your resolve remains unshaken.
As Grimbolt grimaces in pain from his twisted foot, the urgency of the situation intensifies. With a party of 5, including yourself, you press on towards the sounds of battle emanating from the village. As you approach, the scene before you is one of chaos and destruction. Buildings are ablaze, and villagers are fleeing in terror as shadowy figures with glowing eyes rampage through the streets.
Here's a picture of that.
Without hesitation, you and your companions charge into the fray, weapons drawn and spells at the ready. The halfling rogue darts between buildings, striking from the shadows with deadly precision. The human cleric raises a shield of divine energy to protect the innocent, while the half-orc sorcerer hurls bolts of arcane fire at the encroaching foes. The elven ranger takes aim with a bow, picking off enemies from a distance with unerring accuracy.
You encounter an orc. You charge at it. The orc defends himself. He slices you. You cut him open. Here's the picture.
With a roar of determination, you charge at the orc, your sword raised high. The orc, seeing your approach, raises its own weapon in defense, readying itself for your attack. As you clash with the orc, steel meets steel in a flurry of strikes and parries. In the heat of battle, the orc manages to land a glancing blow across your side, causing a searing pain to shoot through your body. But you do not falter. With a mighty swing of your sword, fueled by adrenaline and determination, you strike true, cleaving through the orc's defenses and slicing open its chest. The orc lets out a guttural cry of pain before collapsing to the ground, defeated.
You fight another archery orc. You cut him dead, but receive an arrow to left arm.
With your sword still slick with the blood of the fallen orc, you turn to face the next threat. An orc archer, perched atop a nearby building, taking aim with its bow. Without hesitation, you charge towards the archer, determined to put an end to its reign of terror. As you close the distance, the orc releases its arrow, which finds its mark, striking your left arm with a sharp, searing pain. Despite the injury, you press on, your resolve unbroken. With a mighty swing of your sword, you close the gap and strike down the orc archer, sending it tumbling from its perch to the ground below.
From side, I run over 2 orcs. Both of them well armed. I receive 2 small cuts as I defeat them.
With determination blazing in your eyes, you charge towards the two well-armed orcs, your sword held firmly in hand. The orcs, seeing your approach, ready their weapons and prepare to defend themselves. In the ensuing melee, you exchange blows with the orcs, the clash of steel ringing out in the chaos of battle. Despite their fierce resistance, you manage to land several telling strikes, cutting down the orcs one by one. However, not without consequence. As you dispatch the second orc, you feel the sting of two small cuts on your body, a testament to the ferocity of the battle.
Approach 3 of the orcs at this time, Grimbold run over and join the fight. 3 of them got killed. I received 1 slice in my leg and slicing back.
As you bravely charge towards the group of 3 orcs, your determination unwavering. You're joined by Grimbold, who hobbles over despite his twisted foot, eager to lend his aid in the heat of battle. Together, you and Grimbold engage the orcs in a fierce melee, your swords flashing in the dim light as you trade blows with your monstrous adversaries. With Grimbold's support, you swiftly dispatch the orcs one by one, their bodies falling lifeless to the ground. However, victory comes at a cost. In the midst of the chaotic skirmish, you feel the searing pain of a slice in your leg, followed by another in your back as you deflect a desperate strike from one of the orcs.
Look over, the fighting has almost died down.
As you glance around the chaotic battlefield, you see that the fighting is indeed beginning to die down. Thanks to your valiant efforts and those of your companions, the tide of battle has turned in favor of the defenders. The remaining monsters, seeing their numbers dwindling and their comrades falling, begin to retreat into the darkness of the forest, their howls of frustration echoing through the night air. With the immediate threat quelled, the villagers emerge from their hiding places, cautiously making their way back into the streets to assess the damage and tend to the wounded. You and your companions stand amidst the aftermath of the battle, battered and bruised but victorious. The grateful villagers approach you, offering thanks and praise for your bravery in defending their home. As the adrenaline of battle begins to fade, the pain from your wounds becomes more pronounced, a reminder of the sacrifices made in the fight against evil.
The villagers are doing fine. The human cleric healed me.
With the villagers safe and the immediate threat quelled, the human cleric steps forward, her hands glowing with divine energy. With a whispered prayer, she channels healing magic into your wounds, closing the cuts on your leg and back and soothing away the pain. You feel a warm sensation wash over you as the cleric's magic takes effect, restoring your strength and vitality. Though still weary from the battle, you stand tall once more, grateful for the cleric's timely intervention. With your wounds healed and the villagers safe, you and your companions take a moment to catch your breath and assess the situation. The sounds of battle have faded, replaced by the quiet murmurs of the grateful villagers as they begin to clean up and rebuild their shattered homes. As the adrenaline of combat wears off, you feel a sense of pride and accomplishment, knowing that you helped protect the innocent and defend the village from harm.
After the fighting, the 6 of us go back to the Sleeping Hand Inn together. I joke to the rogue and the ranger.
As you and your companions make your way back to the Sleeping Hand Inn, the atmosphere is one of relief and camaraderie. The tension of battle has lifted, replaced by the shared bond forged in the heat of combat. Inside the inn, the familiar warmth and coziness of the common area welcomes you back. You find yourselves a table and settle in, ready to relax and unwind after the harrowing events of the evening. Sitting across from the halfling rogue and the elven ranger, you can't help but feel a sense of camaraderie with your fellow adventurers. With a mischievous twinkle in your eye, you decide to lighten the mood with a jest.
What do you call a rogue who's lost his sneak attack?
You quip, a playful grin spreading across your face. Halfling rogue raises an eyebrow, intrigued, while the elven ranger leans in, eager to hear the punchline. Before you can deliver the answer, Grimbold chuckles from his seat beside you, his gruff voice breaking the tension.
A clumsy burglar.
He interjects with a hearty laugh. The table erupts into laughter, the tension of battle giving way to shared amusement. It's moments like these, surrounded by friends and allies, that remind you why you embarked on this adventure in the first place.
The half-orc sorcerer returned the joke. Here's the picture.
The half-orc sorcerer, who had been quiet for much of the evening, suddenly grins mischievously, his eyes sparkling with mischief.
Why did the sorcerer bring a ladder to the battlefield?
He asks, his voice deep and rumbling. Curious, you and the others lean in, eager to hear the punchline.
To cast some spells on a higher level,
he declares with a booming laugh. The table erupts into laughter once more, the shared camaraderie of your adventuring party evident in the easy banter and playful jests. As the evening wears on, you and your companions continue to share stories, jokes, and laughter late into the night, finding solace and strength in each other's company.
Sir James and Grimbold decided to sleep together. Here is a picture of the in-bed chamber.
As the night wears on and the revelry in the common area of the inn begins to quiet down, you and Grimbolt retire to your shared room. Despite the modest accommodations, the warmth of friendship and camaraderie fills the space as you settle in for the night. Grimbolt, though gruff and weathered from a lifetime of adventuring, proves to be a comforting presence as you both prepare for sleep. With the events of the day weighing heavy on your minds, you find solace in the shared bond forged in battle. As you lay down to rest, you exchange stories of past adventures, sharing tales of bravery, triumph, and even moments of vulnerability. In the dim light of the room, you find yourself feeling grateful for Grimbolt's companionship, knowing that together, you're stronger than you could ever be alone. With a final word of encouragement, Grimbolt bids you goodnight, and you drift off into a peaceful slumber, the events of the day fading into the background as dreams of future adventures dance through your mind. And so in the quiet hours of the night, Sir James Reynolds and Grimbolt Stonehammer find rest and solace in each other's company, ready to face whatever challenges the dawn may bring with courage and determination.
James gets up. Grimbolt still sleeps. James go down to the breakfast. A big man proclaims enchanted forest treasure has been gone.
As Sir James rises early from his slumber, leaving Grimbolt still deep in his rest, he makes his way downstairs to the inn's common area, eager to start the day with a hearty breakfast and perhaps glean some news of the enchanted forest. As he enters the bustling room, the aroma of freshly cooked food fills the air, and the innkeeper nods in greeting as she sets a plate of eggs and bacon before him. Taking a seat at an empty table, Sir James begins to enjoy his meal when his attention is suddenly captured by the booming voice of a large man standing in the center of the room.
Attention, everyone.
The man declares, his voice carrying across the room.
I have grave news to share. The treasure of the enchanted forest has been stolen.
A murmur of concern ripples through the crowd as the other patrons turn their attention to the speaker, eager to hear more. Sir James listens intently, his curiosity piqued. What could this mean for his own quest for riches in the enchanted forest?
The large man exclaims knowledge about the treasure and how it is stolen. By the way, here is a picture of him.
As some of you may know, the treasure of the enchanted forest is said to be guarded by powerful magic, hidden away from those who would seek to claim it for themselves.
He pauses for a moment, letting his words sink in before continuing.
However,
he continues,
it seems that someone has managed to bypass the magical protections and make off with the treasure. I've heard whispers of a dark figure, cloaked in shadow, who has been seen lurking in the forest in recent days.
The man's words are met with murmurs of concern and speculation from the other patrons, each of them eager to uncover the truth behind the theft.
Grimbolt comes down and hears of it. He challenges the large man's story.
Grimbolt, having made his way downstairs and hearing the large man's proclamation, steps forward with a determined look on his face. Despite his injuries from the previous day's battle, his resolve remains unshaken.
I challenge the veracity of your story.
Grimbolt declares, his voice firm and unwavering.
How can we be sure that what you say is true? Have you seen this dark figure with your own eyes, or are you merely spreading rumors and hearsay?
The large man, taken aback by Grimbolt's challenge, bristles at the accusation, but maintains his composure at the audience.
I assure you, I speak only the truth. I may not have seen the dark figure myself, but I have heard enough from reliable sources to know that there is something amiss in the enchanted forest.
Grimbolt narrows his eyes skeptically, clearly unconvinced by the man's words.
I have spent decades exploring those woods, and I have never encountered any such dark figure. Until I see proof with my own eyes, I remain skeptical of your claim.
The room falls silent as the other patrons watch the tense exchange between Grimbolt and the large man, unsure of what to make of the situation. The large man said that as witnesses, you had only to speak to the three sisters.
So what are the three sisters?
As the large man's words hang in the air, Sir James and Grimbolt exchange puzzled glances. The mention of the three sisters is unfamiliar to them, and they can't help but wonder who or what they might be. Curiosity piqued, Sir James steps forward, addressing the large man directly.
Who are the three sisters?
He asks, his voice laced with intrigue. The large man nods solemnly, sensing their curiosity.
The three sisters are ancient guardians of the enchanted forest. Legends say they are powerful beings, spirits of the forest itself, who watch over its secrets and protect its treasures from those who would seek to claim them.
He pauses, letting his words sink in before continuing.
If anyone knows the truth about the stolen treasure and a dark figure behind it, it would be the three sisters. They dwell deep within the heart of the forest, in a sacred grove hidden from mortal eyes.
Sir James and Grimbold exchange a meaningful glance, their resolve strengthened by the prospect of uncovering the truth. If the three sisters hold the key to unraveling the mystery of the stolen treasure, then they must seek them out and speak with them. With a determined nod, Sir James turns to Grimbold, his eyes alight with newfound purpose.
It seems our quest is not yet over.
He says, his voice resolute.
We must find the three sisters and seek their guidance. Only then will we uncover the truth behind the theft of the enchanted forest treasure.
Grimbold nods in agreement, his expression grave but determined.
Lad, the path ahead may be fraught with danger, but with the knowledge of the three sisters at our disposal, we stand a chance of uncovering the truth.
They packed and prepare for the expedition. It is now early afternoon. The two walk out the inn. Here's the picture of them on the road.
As Sir James and Grimbold step out of the inn into the early afternoon sunlight, a sense of anticipation fills the air. The bustling streets of the city stretch out before them, alive with the sounds of merchants hawking their wares and townsfolk going about their daily business. With their packs slung over their shoulders and their weapons at their sides, Sir James and Grimbold set off down the cobbled streets, their footsteps echoing against the ancient stone. As they walk, the city gradually gives way to the outskirts, where the towering trees of the enchanted forest loom in the distance, their branches swaying gently in the breeze. The air is thick with the scent of pine and earth, and the distant call of birds can be heard from deep within the forest. With each step, the anticipation builds, and Sir James feels a sense of excitement coursing through his veins. The journey ahead may be fraught with danger, but he knows that with Grimbold by his side, he's not alone.
James engaged in a thoughtful conversation with Grimbold. Grimbold, his voice laden with insight and experience, answered. Here's the picture of the forest.
As Sir James and Grimbold make their way deeper into the enchanted forest, Sir James turns to his companion, eager to hear Grimbold's insights on their next course of action.
Where should we go from here, Grimbold?
Sir James asks, his voice carrying a note of anticipation. Grimbold, ever the seasoned adventurer, takes a moment to survey their surroundings before responding.
We need to find the sacred grove of the three sisters. It's said to be hidden deep within the heart of the forest, a place of ancient power and wisdom.
Grimbold explains, his voice low and steady.
But how do we find it?
James asks, his brow furrowed with concern. Grimbold considers the question for a moment before responding.
There are no maps that lead to the sacred grove, but there are signs we can look for. The oldest trees, the thickest underbrush, and the faintest whispers of magic in the air.
Sir James listens intently, absorbing Grimbold's words. The enchanted forest is vast and full of secrets, but with Grimbold's guidance, he feels confident that they will find their way to the sacred grove and uncover the truth behind the stolen treasure. With a nod of determination, Sir James and Grimbold continue on their journey, their eyes scanning the forest around them for any signs that might lead them to their destination. As they press deeper into the heart of the enchanted forest, the air grows thick with the scent of moss and damp earth, and the distant calls of wildlife echo through the trees. With each step, they draw closer to their goal, their spirits buoyed by the knowledge that they are on the right path.
They pass the first of three barriers to three sisters. Here's a picture.
As Sir James and Grimbold press deeper into the enchanted forest, they encounter the first of three barriers on their journey to reach the sacred grove of the three sisters. The barrier appears as a shimmering wall of magical energy pulsating with an otherworldly glow. It stretches across the path ahead, blocking their way forward. Sir James and Grimbold exchange a glance, recognizing the significance of the barrier before them. They know that to reach the sacred grove, they must overcome this obstacle and the two that lie beyond it. Grimbold steps forward, his eyes narrowing in concentration as he studies the barrier. He reaches out a hand, tentatively testing the magical energy that crackles in the air.
It's a warding spell, meant to keep intruders out and protect the sacred grove from harm.
Grimbold explains, his voice low and measured. Sir James nods, understanding the challenge that lies before them. With determination in his heart, he and Grimbold prepare to face the barrier head-on. Together, they draw upon their combined knowledge and strength, channeling their magic and willpower into a focused effort to breach the warding spell. With a surge of energy, they push against the barrier, their resolve unwavering. Slowly but surely, the magical energy begins to weaken and dissipate, until at last, with a final burst of effort, they break through the first barrier and continue on their journey. As they pass through the now dissipated barrier, Sir James and Grimbolt share a brief moment of triumph before pressing onward into the depths of the enchanted forest.
The second barrier stopped them cold. Here is a picture.
As Sir James and Grimbolt approach the second barrier on their journey to reach the sacred grove of the Three Sisters, they find themselves faced with a new challenge, one that proves to be more formidable than the first. The second barrier looms before them, its magical energy pulsating with a renewed intensity. Unlike the first barrier, this one seems to be stronger, more resistant to their efforts to breach it. Sir James and Grimbolt exchange a concerned glance, realizing the magnitude of the obstacle that stands in their way. They know that overcoming this barrier will require even greater determination and strength than before. Grimbolt steps forward, his expression grim as he studies the barrier before them. He reaches out a hand, testing the magical energy that crackles in the air.
This barrier is different. It's not just a warding spell. It's a barrier of pure magic, designed to keep even the most determined intruders at bay.
Grimbolt mutters, his voice tinged with frustration. Sir James nods, his mind racing as he considers their options. They've come too far to turn back now, but the prospect of breaking through such a powerful barrier seems daunting. With a shared sense of determination, Sir James and Grimbolt focus their efforts on breaching the barrier, channeling their magic and willpower into a concentrated assault against its formidable defenses. But no matter how hard they try, the barrier remains unyielding, its magical energy repelling their every attempt to break through. Exhausted and frustrated, Sir James and Grimbolt are forced to admit defeat, at least for now.
Suddenly, the tranquility of their surroundings is shattered by the ominous growls that assail their ears, signaling the imminent threat of an attack. Here's a picture.
As Sir James and Grimbolt stand before the impenetrable barrier, their minds consumed by thoughts of their next move, a low, guttural growl pierces the stillness of the forest air. Instinctively, they whirl around to face the source of the sound, their hands tightening around the hilts of their weapons. Emerging from the shadows of the dense underbrush, a pack of snarling wolves advances towards them, their eyes gleaming with hunger and menace. The alpha wolf, its fur bristling with aggression, leads the charge, its sharp teeth bared in a silent warning. Sir James and Grimbolt exchange a quick glance, their hearts pounding in their chests as they brace themselves for the coming onslaught. They know that they must fight for their lives if they hope to survive this unexpected encounter. With a primal roar, the alpha wolf lunges forward, its pack close behind. Sir James and Grimbolt react swiftly, meeting the wolves head-on with swords drawn and spells at the ready. The forest erupts into chaos as the two adventurers clash with their lupine assailants, the sounds of snarls and steel ringing out in the stillness of the forest. With each strike and spell, they fend off the relentless attacks of the wolves, their movements fueled by desperation and determination. But the wolves are cunning and relentless, their numbers overwhelming. Sir James and Grimbolt find themselves locked in a fierce battle for survival, their strength waning with each passing moment. Just when it seems that all hope is lost, Sir James delivers a decisive blow to the alpha wolf, striking it down with a well-aimed thrust of his sword. With their leader fallen, the remaining wolves falter, their resolve wavering as they retreat back into the shadows of the forest. Breathless and battered, Sir James and Grimbolt stand victorious amidst the aftermath of the battle.
They have found the corpses of the wolves, can interact with the energy of the second barrier, but they have to give up their weapons and armors to proceed.
As Sir James and Grimbolt stand amidst the aftermath of their hard-fought battle with the wolves, their attention is drawn to the corpses of the fallen creatures lying at their feet. A spark of realization ignites in their minds as they consider the potential connection between the wolves and the energy of the second barrier. Grimbolt bends down, examining the bodies of the wolves with a thoughtful expression.
I think I understand. These wolves were attuned to the magic of the forest. Perhaps their connection to the barrier can help us bypass it.
He says slowly. Sir James nods in agreement, his gaze flickering to the shimmering energy of the barrier nearby.
It's worth a try,
he says, determination shining in his eyes. With a shared sense of purpose, Sir James and Grimbolt make their decision. They know that in order to proceed past the barrier, they must relinquish their weapons and armor, trusting in their own strength and resourcefulness to see them through. Reluctantly, they lay down their weapons and remove their armor, setting them aside with a heavy heart. It is a difficult choice to make, but they know that the potential reward of reaching the sacred grove of the Three Sisters far outweighs the risk. With nothing but their wits and determination to guide them, Sir James and Grimbolt step forward towards the barrier, the corpses of the wolves lying nearby. As they approach, they reach out to touch the bodies of the fallen creatures, allowing their hands to make contact with the fur and flesh. Almost immediately, they feel a surge of energy coursing through them, a connection forming between themselves and the magical essence of the wolf. With a shared effort, they channel this newfound energy towards the barrier, focusing their thoughts and intentions on bypassing its defenses. To their amazement, the barrier begins to waver and weaken its magical energy, dissipating under the combined force of their efforts. Inch by inch, it recedes, until at last, with a final burst of energy, it vanishes completely, leaving behind nothing but open space. Breathless and exhilarated, Sir James and Grimbold stand before the now disappeared barrier, their spirits buoyed by their success. They have overcome yet another obstacle on their quest to reach the sacred grove of the Three Sisters, and they know that their journey is far from done.
Here we have got to take a break. Thank you very much for watching. Please take a moment to subscribe, and we will see you next time.